Hey everybody, welcome back to another floss tube. My name is Casey if you're new, and if you're returning, thank you for coming back. This video is going to be my 2022 WIP Parade. I know it's already a few days into 2023, but better late than never. So I'm just going to get straight into the WIP Parade. I counted up all my WIPs and I have them piled up right over here. And basically I doubled the amount that I had last year. I started the year with 22 WIPs and now I have 46. And that's okay because it makes me happy and it's my number one hobby. So bring on the new starts. So I finished 5 projects and I started a lot. I think going into 2023 I'm going to plan my starts. I want to maybe max it out at 50. So I have 4 starts, and anything after that is when I finish one of my current projects, which I have a handful of them that are small, so there's a lot that wouldn't take that long to finish. So I don't really have like specific goals this year that I want to reach with my projects. I would like to finish a handful of my smaller ones because I have a lot of small ones just sitting around that need to get finished, and that would quickly decrease my WIP count. So I don't think I'm gonna like really focus on like one specific full coverage project, but I think I've created a system in the last few days or like the last week or two, where I pick a full coverage and that's the one I have out with me until I do like 1,000 stitches, or if it's really hard and I don't feel like doing it anymore, I'll do 500. But I stick with it until I get either 500 or 1,000, and then I will either do another 500 or 1,000, or I'll swap it out with a different full coverage, while also like working on some of my smaller pieces to help get those finished. But first I'm going to focus on my son's burst sampler because I hope to get that finished by April for his birthday. And I'm also going to try to focus on not like strict, but on his stocking that I started. It would be cool to get it done by Christmas, but it's not like a dead end goal that I'm dying to meet. So yeah, focus on finishing smaller ones this year while also still working on full coverage. That's my plan, and try to not go over 50 WIPs because I shouldn't be going over 50 WIPs. So as I said, I had 5 finishes. I'm going to show you those first. First, I'll insert a photo of the first one because it's on my wall. And it is called Joshua Tree National Park by Awesome Pattern Studio on Etsy. And let me see what day I finished it. I started it April 21st of 2021 and finished it August 12th of 2022. So it took me a year and 4 months, basically. And I also restarted it again because my friends would like me to make them one because they had their honeymoon at Joshua Tree. So we'll see how long it takes me to finish that one. The next finish, and these are not like in order that I finished them, it's just whatever I'm thinking to show first. The next one is called Cirque des Couleurs by Ink Circles. I started this on July 1st, 2021 and finished it June 15th, 2022, which is just under a year. And I have not framed this yet. I wish I did, but I just haven't put the time or money into it yet. And this is it. I really like it. This year I plan to start another one of the Ink Circles. Like, they have like a Cirque des triangles and squares. And I want to do all of them in a different color. Basically like X Stitch MD, if you watch her. I think that's what she's planning to do as well. The next finish I will be showing you is called Halloween by Cross Stitch Patterns on Etsy. I started this sometime in June of 2022 and I finished it in September of 2022. I have everything I need to completely finish it, but I just have not put the time into it. It's not going to be framed, it's going to be like mounted on something. This is it. Small and cute. I just want to finish basically all my small patterns that are like similar to this size. The next one I'm going to show you is called Time Spent with Dogs by Punt Ego Petite pattern on Etsy. I started this October 27th, 2022, and I finished it November 8th of 2022. And I plan to finish this this year, just mounted on a board with some sort of dog related fabric. And I might do this one again because I have 2 people who I could gift it to, so I'd like to give them both one. Oh, and I want to buy the cat one for me. So the next one, I don't have the pattern. I'm sorry if my phone is shaking. I will try not to touch the table as much. I don't have the name, but if you want to know where this pattern is from, just comment below and I'll let you know. But it's my son's first ornament, and my plan is to make one every year for him, related to something we did that year or just a photo we have of him that can relate to the stitch. And then on the back is a photo of his dad and him, if you can see him in there, when he was just a wee little newborn baby. And now he is 8 months old, so it looks a lot different now. But yes, I think I need to make some of them not so big because our tree is just going to be only with these eventually. All right, that's it for finishes. And then I have all of my WIPs organized in chronological order from oldest to newest. But first, I'm just going to show you 2 miscellaneous, which means I didn't ever write down the day that I started it, but I'm sure it was in 2022. And they're both Mill Hill bead kits, so I'm sorry for the crinkling. First one is this one. It's called Autumn Swing. This is one I could finish this year if I choose to focus on it. This one is an ornament. It's dedicated to my cat Wally because he's gray. And this really would not take long, so it's just focusing on these tiny ones to getting them done. This is what I have. I've done 2 other ornaments. One was a gift, and the one that was for me got chewed up by my cats. I don't know if I'll ever restitch it. I mean, it's still in one piece, but it's just chewed up around the edges and stuff. And now we're gonna get into the WIPs that I have, everything else basically, from oldest to newest. So first are the ones I've started in 2021. I'm not gonna say the specific dates, but I'll let you know when we get into the 2022 WIPs. And I'll insert cover photos, and if I'm able to, I'll insert photos of where I was at the start of the year. There's gonna be a handful of projects that I didn't work on, which is fine with me. I just have a lot of projects, so it'd be hard to get all of them worked on with like significant progress and stuff. So the first one is called Winter Lane by Cross Stitch Collectibles. And this is where it is now. It's a lot of white on white, but it'll be worth it when it's done. So I don't have any plans on stopping this one. Next is called Football by MysticStitch.com. And I've considered UFOing this, which means unfinished object, because I have not really worked on it in a year. I started it with my brothers, but I don't know if I'm gonna work on it or not. The next one is called A Good Marriage by Lizzie Kate, and I have a picture of how it looks, and this is where it is. I changed the colors on it. I have not worked on this one in a very long time, just because I'm not sure from who I'm going to gift it to or if I'll keep it for myself yet, so I just kind of stopped working on it. Next is called Epic Pokemon by Lord Libidon, and this one is for my fiance, which I did not practice. I used to, or I am trying to name all of them. I just haven't practiced recently, so I'm not going to do it this time. But the next time I show this one in a regular video, I will do it. So the next one I have written down is called Sounds of the Season. I'll just insert a photo of what it's supposed to look like because I need to restart it still. And I'm restarting it because I started it on 32 count 1/1, and that's just too small for me. And I never want to work on the projects that are on the tiny fabric, so I need to restart it on something larger. Next is Mini Sunflower Cottage. I want to say I'm just around 50% on this, and I literally got 50% done in like 4 months and then just stopped working on it. This is how it is. This is a full coverage that if I focused on it, I could finish this year. But I don't know if I will or not. I miscounted somewhere around here, so I've started just going this way, working up, hopefully just not have to take anything out to fix it. Next, it's called Bellatrix by Bella Filipina. It's my first fancy lady I started. I really enjoy it. I have all the beads I need to do it, so I'm excited to get all the stitching done first, and then I can do the beads after. And I really like this fabric. Don't remember where I bought it from though. Next is called Haunted House, and it's by Stitching Jewels on Etsy. And this is all I have right now. The fabric is very stiff, but I'm pushing through. Next is called San Francisco Golden Gate by Artisty.com. And I did work on this one a good amount, I would say. Next is called Cat by Lola Lala Shop on Etsy. I don't think that shop is open anymore though. Another small one that wouldn't take long. This is dedicated to my cat Wally, because when he wants attention or he wants to get food, he knocks stuff off the counters. This one is called Snow Much in Love. It's a mini by Donna Gelsinger on Heaven and Earth Designs. And I do not think I worked on this very much this year. I'm sorry that you can see through the fabric. This one is called Tranquil Tulip by Hannah Disney on Heaven and Earth Designs. Did not work on this one much this year, I'm pretty sure. This is a full coverage that I could finish if I focused on it. The next one is called Marion Bright by Donna Gelsinger on Paid. And it's on 28 count, which means I don't feel like working on it very often, but I also would like to keep it on 28 count. And it's probably one of my favorite images I've seen on Paid, Heaven and Earth Designs, but because of the tiny fabric, I just don't work with it as much. And it's the regular version. I know I see a lot of people doing the mini of this, but I just liked the detail better in the regular. Next is called Believe by Sue Miller on Paid. I did not work on this one this year. I don't think at all, really. This year was the year of impulse starts, so a lot of the things from last year just didn't work on a whole lot. Next is called Mount Cabin Home, and if you were here last year, you might remember that this was supposed to be my one project where I did 22,000 stitches in 2022, which I did not reach, and I don't know how much I got, but I stuck with it maybe for 3 months. But because I stuck with it, there is some good, decent progress. Pretty good progress for how big it is. You can see the antlers, and I just recently pulled this out again, but when I stopped like after 3 months, I didn't work on it at all really. I'm working on this top page. I think for this project I like to go page by page. But yes, it's gonna be very big, but I like the image, so it should be okay. It's on 18 count. Next is called Yosemite National Park by Awesome Pattern Studio on Etsy. I recently worked on this a little bit, but nothing crazy. Next is called Sleeping Cat Monochrome by Stitching Jewels on Etsy, and I think I worked on it this year. I don't know how much I did though. And this should be the correct orientation. This one is called Cat Face. I did not work on it this year at all. It's a paper pattern, so it just doesn't cross my mind very often. And this one is to dedicate towards my cat, Peachy. As you can see, the pile is getting higher. I don't even know the orientation, so I'll just show it like this. But it looks like him, so that's why it's dedicated to him. Next is called Brachiosaurus by David Penfound on Hade. Another one on 28 count, so I don't work on it as much. And I had to restart it on this end. Yeah, I can't really see anything. It's just trees in the top corner. So it's for my son, unless he grows up to not like dinosaurs. Then it's for my fiance. This one is called Snow Queen by Mirabilia, and the fabric is called Twilight Blue Linen from Witcho. And I really like this pattern. I just like reindeers. My favorite Christmas movie is called Prancer. If you've ever watched that movie, let me know in the comments, because I feel like it's not as popular of a movie. This one is called Gathering Acorns by Cottage Garden Samplings. One of my favorite animals are squirrels, so I hope to do a lot of squirrel patterns. And I just want to finish this before I start another one, but I have a bunch of squirrel patterns like favorited online, so. This one is called Temperature Typography, and this will be a finish in January, by the end of January. It's from Stitchin' Mommy on Etsy. And I cut the fabric over here because I wanted a little piece for something else. But I'm almost done. I ran out of a blue that I need for the bottom, so it kind of just put me at a pause because I didn't feel like it until I bought the blue, which I bought today, so that's good. And unfortunately, I did not use the hottest temperature color, which is 420 degrees. I mean, I'm glad I didn't get that hot, but one day would have been nice so I could use that color. I don't remember what the coldest temperature was. But once I'm done, I'm going to put in the back stitch probably where I live and the year. And then one more thing that I did to it is in April, I put a shiny color where the day that my son was born. And it's darker than it should be for the yellow, but I just bought whatever they had at Michael's. This one is called Dinosaurs, and this is the burst tempo that I mentioned earlier. I would say it is maybe 60 or 70% done, maybe more, but I did backstitching on the top, but I stopped at the bottom. I haven't done it there because the pattern is hard to read. It's a paper pattern and I highlight it, so then it's hard to read the backstitching under the highlighter. I will backstitch the rest when I'm done with the stitching, and I'll put his name underneath and stuff. Next one is called Autumn, and it's from Myra Petit on Hade. This one is dedicated to my cat Autumn because it's her name. This is where it is. I worked on it a little bit this year, just recently. I forgot to tell you guys when I reached the 2022 starts. Let me see where it was. If you remember, the dinosaur one that only had a little bit of progress on it in the top corner that I said was for my son, unless he doesn't like dinosaurs, and it's for my fiance. That was my first start of 2022. And then it was the queen. And then if you remember the rest, or you can just rewind a little bit. The next one is called Hibiscus Fairy by Meredith Dillman on Hade. Also dedicated to my cat Autumn because she's in the picture and I'm in the picture, so it's dedicated to both of us. Oops. I restarted this one. Basically just switched it from 2/2 to 1/, or not 2/1 to 1/1 because it was too bulky. I mean, you can see the fabric through, but I'm just trying to make use of the fabric that I already bought. I don't think I would intentionally start stuff on 22 count 1/1, but it's working out okay. Next art is Story Keep Rainbow Valley by Jody Bergsma Hade. Did not work on it much this year. I mean, I started it this year, so. But it's a long, skinny one. Next one is It's a Cat by Stitchman Darcy on Etsy. Another quick finish if I just work on it. Next one is A Real Snow Job by Scott Wooster on Hade. And I really like this one because it reminds me of puzzles. And I like to do puzzles. This one is called Mini Small Magellanic Cloud. I don't know if I said that right. My first book coverage I ever finished was a galaxy photo, so I thought it'd be cool to do another one. And I'm actually doing diagonal on this. I don't know how long I'll stick with that, but and parking, as you can see. It's really not that big. I mean, it's on a 28 count, so it's a little bit bigger than it looks, but it's okay. Next one is called Can It Be Heart by Dakota Detweiler Dakota Detweiler on Hade. Another one on 28 count, so not much progress on it. And let me see. This is where it is. I had to restart it because I had the fabric the wrong way. Next one is called Evening Max Color by Leonid Afromov. I restarted this one like 3 times because I could not get the right fabric that I wanted. This is where it is. 22 count 1/1. Yes, you can see through the darkness, but once it's all done with how big it is, you should not be able to notice as well. This was really one of the first Hades I started, but since I restarted it so much, it's a 2022 project now. Next one is called Heaven's Window by Andy Russell, 1/1 on 22 count. And this is another one where literally the whole top is dark like this. And if you get close, I don't know if you can see with my camera quality, but you can see fabric clearly through the string. I'm trying to it's okay, just do it. It'll be fine. You can still see the image, what it is, even though there's fabric showing through, right? The next one is called 12 Days of Christmas by Hannah Lynn on Hade. This one is my first full coverage on 25 count 1/1. And I started on the bottom left. I don't really know why, but I did. And I've always kind of liked the patterns by this artist, like because they look like coloring pages, sort of. And I like to color. But they never really drew to me until this one came out because it's the 12 Days of Christmas. And I like how it shows each number of the Christmas days in the song. The next one is my stocking. And it is called Snowman Gathering by, it's a Dimensions gold kit. And this is where it is. This will be my son's stocking. Next is Dino ABC by The Stitch Patterns on Etsy. This will be for my son. And it's just 2 dinosaurs with the ABCs on it. This one is called Fishing Wobblers by Happy Little Mouse on Etsy. This will be for my fiance, and it's almost done. I have one more fishing lure over here to do. I've been working on this one recently. It's just a very easy stitch, and it doesn't hurt my brain after working all day. This one, sorry, my cats are making noises. This one is called Autumn Montage by Janet Stever, and it's charted by Pain Free Crafts. And I'm doing this on 18 count Ada because impulse starts. I can't wait for fabric to get shipped. And this is what the local stores around me have. So yes, it would be big, but that's okay. I really like this. I'd like to start all the seasons, but I mean, if I was impulse starting this year, I'd start them all this year. But if I'm gonna try to not go over 50, then I don't know how many I'll start this year. This one is called The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings, and I just wanted to get it started. I didn't have any intentions of working on it a lot, but it started, so it's a WIP now. This is what I have. I'm using the called for orange floss. I don't think this is the called for fabric. Look at my pile. It's gonna be taller than me soon. Next is called Loved by You by Hello from Liz Matthews. And the fabric I'm using is 36 count Boardwalk Edinburgh linen. Oops, sorry, my cats are jumping onto the kitchen table. And I'm doing this one 2/2. And this will be a finish early in the year because it's very easy. I just have Loved by You left to do. Ever since I saw this one, I wanted to start it. I can't wait to have this on my wall. This one is one that I really enjoy as well. I've wanted to start it for a long time. And it's called Celtic Autumn by Lavender and Lace. This is on 28 count Mushroom Lugana 2/2 full cross. Not that I don't need to say full cross because everything I stitch is full cross. I really enjoy this one. And oh yeah, I'm doing a color conversion. If you go on the Facebook group for, I think, just Celtic ladies, you can find the conversion. I would like to do all seasons of this. I will not start them all this year, but we'll see if I start any other ones. Next is called Patterned Turkey. This year, recently, I got gifted a subscription to Just Cross Stitch magazine, which is very exciting. My niece is in Girl Scouts, and it was like a fundraiser she had, and these were one of the things you could buy. So my mom gifted it for me, and I plan to subscribe every year as long as she's in Girl Scouts. So hopefully she stays in Girl Scouts for a few more years. I wish I'd known it was a thing sooner. I would have gotten it before. So I have 2 of them so far. I have this one and then this one, and I hope to do a lot of patterns in here because I have random fabrics laying around that I could use to stitch these. But I just had the urge to do a Thanksgiving one because I don't have Thanksgiving ones. This is what it is. The designer is Karen Bowen of KEB Studio Creations. And that's all I did on it. I just wanted to start it. I haven't worked on it since then. The next one is called Pandemic by Long Dog Samplers. I wanted to start this one for a long time. Finally did. And I'm doing it. Oh, I forgot to write down the color. I think it's like 894 or 984. It's on my Instagram if you want to go see what DM's color, but it's a dark green. I was just feeling a green monochromatic piece. I really like the patterns where people do multiple colors, but I just really wanted a monochromatic piece. I didn't want to have to think or change colors that often. And I was just feeling a green piece, like a forest green. I feel like it's just really dark, so it's not always obvious that it's green, but I know for sure that I did not want like a bright Christmas green. So it's okay. Yeah. I like it. The next one, all right, so the next two are out of order. I never wrote down the start date, so today I went back through my email of when I got the PDFs and I marked it down today. So these two were started in the summer. This one is called Pokemon Generation 1 by Boris D. Signing on Etsy. Another Pokemon one for my fiance. But yeah, it's just little ones of all the Pokemon in Generation 1, if you know anything about Pokemon. The only problem with this one is it's not fully compatible with Pattern Keeper. So the pattern is up, but none of the colors are up. So I have to look at my phone for the color key. And it doesn't like highlight. It doesn't highlight the colors because they don't know which colors it is. But better than not working at all, I guess. But because of that, I don't get drawn to it as often. But I just think the little Pokemon are super cute. And the next one is my restart of Joshua Tree National Park that I'm giving to my friends whenever I get it done. And this is where it is. Super stiff fabric, but it's okay. So the one I did for myself is on 14 count, and this is 18 count. I was trying to get a size that would be more likely to fit into an average frame size, because the one I did for myself does not, and it just looks a little bit weird. And that is it. My pile did not go above my head and did not fall over, but it will if my cat were to jump up here. So that was all of my WIPs for 2022. And the goal for 2023 is to not go over 50. We'll see what happens. I hope if you chose to watch my WIP Parade that you enjoyed it. WIP Parade season is my favorite season. I don't even know, like 20 videos saved on my watch later list. And I'm just looking forward to stitching, and hopefully I have the energy to stitch tonight after the baby goes to sleep. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!